The Aomori prison, a place shrouded in mystery and fear, known to many as the Iron Fortress, a behemoth of concrete and steel, its architecture designed to intimidate and contain. It stood as an unyielding symbol of Japanese justice, a testament to the nation's resolve to maintain order. Its walls contained the most hardened criminals, men who had committed unspeakable acts. None had ever escaped its grasp. Or so they thought. The Iron Fortress was believed to be impenetrable, a place where hope was extinguished. The year was 1965, a time of change and transformation. Japan was rebuilding, embracing a new era of modernization and growth. The scars of war were slowly healing, but within Aomori's walls, time seemed to stand still. The prison was a relic of the past, untouched by the progress outside. It was a world of suffocating routine, where every day was a monotonous repetition of the last. Every day mirrored the last for the inmates. The same faces, the same tasks, the same despair. Among them was a man named Yoshio Kodama, a figure both feared and respected. He was no ordinary criminal. Kodama was a cunning strategist, a master manipulator who had once held immense power. Kodama was a cunning strategist, a master manipulator. He spent his days plotting, always thinking several steps ahead. He had once held sway over Japan's underworld, commanding respect and fear from all who knew him. Now, he was just another face lost in the prison's cold embrace. But even in confinement, his mind was always at work, searching for a way out. The guards were vigilant, always on the lookout for any signs of trouble. The security measures were tight, with surveillance cameras monitoring every corner. Yet within the shadows, secret conversations took place. Inmates exchanged information, plotting their next moves. Kodama was at the center of it all. He meticulously planned, writing notes and devising strategies. His mind was a labyrinth of schemes. The prison records held stories of many failed escape attempts. But Kodama was different. He studied these records, learning from the mistakes of others. He kept himself physically fit, knowing that strength and endurance would be crucial for any escape plan. Nighttime brought a different kind of tension. The prison was eerily quiet, but the guards remained ever watchful. Kodama often gazed out of his cell window, the moonlight casting a pale glow on his face. He was patient, waiting for the perfect moment. He had memorized the prison's layout, every corridor, every exit. His escape plan was nearly complete. He built alliances, gaining the trust of other inmates. Each one played a role in his grand scheme. And then, one fateful night, the alarm was raised. The prison was thrown into chaos. Kodama's plan was set into motion. Kodama made his move, leading a daring escape attempt. The Iron Fortress was about to be tested like never before. Guards pursued, the tension palpable. It was a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. Kodama ran towards freedom, his heart pounding. The Iron Fortress had met its match. As the sun rose over Aomori prison, a new day dawned. The Iron Fortress had been breached, and Yoshio Kodama's legend was born. Kodama was a Yakuza, a member of Japan's infamous organized crime syndicates. He had risen through the ranks, amassing wealth and power. His influence extended into politics and business. But his empire crumbled when he was convicted of tax evasion. The courts sentenced him to Aomori. Stripped of his freedom, Kodama became obsessed with escape. He observed, he analyzed, he learned the prison's routines, its weaknesses. Kodama knew that a successful escape required more than just brute force. It needed meticulous planning and unwavering resolve. Kodama found a kindred spirit in another inmate, Toshiro Tanaka. Tanaka was a skilled forger with a talent for deception. He shared Kodama's yearning for freedom. Together they hatched a daring plan. They would exploit the prison's vulnerabilities, the lax security during mealtimes, the predictable movements of the guards, the trust placed in seemingly harmless tasks. Their plan was audacious, it bordered on insanity, but for Kodama and Tanaka, it was their only shot at tasting freedom again. The escape plan was intricate, relying on perfect timing and a touch of luck. Tanaka would forge documents, creating a false identity for Kodama. They would use the prison workshop to fashion tools and disguises. Every detail was meticulously planned. Escape routes were mapped out, contingencies were established, a network of trusted inmates was built, each playing a crucial role in the grand scheme. The tension within Aomori's walls began to rise. An undercurrent of anticipation crackled in the air. The date of the escape was set. On a moonless night, the plan was put into motion. The air was thick with tension. and the silence was almost deafening. The guards were unaware of the storm brewing within the prison walls. During the evening meal, Kodama slipped away unnoticed, using the forged documents to blend in with a group of inmates being transferred. The meticulous planning and precise timing were crucial. Every step had been rehearsed, every detail scrutinized. Kodama moved with the confidence of someone who knew the stakes were high but was prepared to risk it all. Outside the prison walls, Tanaka had arranged a getaway car. The vehicle was strategically placed, hidden in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment. Tanaka, a master of logistics, had ensured that the car was untraceable, a ghost in the night. They sped off into the night, leaving behind the iron grip of Aomori prison. The road ahead was fraught with danger, but the taste of freedom was intoxicating. The car's engine roared as it cut through the darkness, a symbol of their defiance. The news of the escape sent shockwaves through Japan. Headlines screamed of the daring breakout and news broadcasts dissected every known detail. The public was captivated, and the authorities were left scrambling for answers. The audacity of the act. It was a bold move that defied the very essence of the prison's security. The sheer nerve required to pull off such a feat was almost unimaginable. The fact that it was orchestrated by a notorious figure like Kodama. His reputation preceded him, a man known for his cunning and resourcefulness. This escape only added to his legend, cementing his place in the annals of criminal history. It seemed like something out of a fictional thriller, the kind of story that would be told and retold, growing more sensational with each telling. But this was no fiction. It was a real-life drama that unfolded under the cover of night, leaving an indelible mark on all who heard it. Beyond the walls, into the unknown. The prison walls that once confined them were now a distant memory, replaced by the vast expanse of freedom and uncertainty. Kodama and Tanaka's freedom was exhilarating, but short-lived. The thrill of the escape coursed through their veins, but reality soon set in. They were no longer just men, they were fugitives, constantly on the run. They were fugitives in their own country. Every corner they turned, every shadow they saw, reminded them of the relentless pursuit they faced. Their faces were plastered on wanted posters, making anonymity a luxury they could no longer afford. The authorities launched a nationwide manhunt. Roadblocks were set up, and search areas were meticulously marked on maps. The police were determined, leaving no stone unturned in their quest to capture the escapees. They moved from one hiding place to another, relying on their underworld connections for support. In the dimly lit rooms of the criminal underworld, they found temporary refuge, exchanging favors and secrets to stay one step ahead. But the pressure was relentless. The police sirens were a constant reminder of the danger that lurked around every corner. A focused detective, piecing together clues, was hot on their trail, making their every move a calculated risk. The fear of capture was a constant shadow. Every sound, every movement in the dark heightened their paranoia. The fear of being caught was a weight they carried with them, day and night. Kodama, however, seemed to relish the chase. With a confident smirk, he navigated the dangers with a sense of purpose, almost as if the thrill of the hunt invigorated him. He taunted the authorities, sending them cryptic messages. Each letter was a puzzle, a challenge to the police, daring them to catch him if they could. The cryptic messages left the officers puzzled, adding to the complexity of the manhunt. It was as if he was playing a game, a dangerous game of cat and mouse where every move was calculated and every step was a strategic play. The chessboard of his life was set, and he was determined to outsmart his pursuers. A dangerous game with his freedom as the prize. The stakes were high, and the consequences of losing were dire. But for Kodama, the game was worth the risk, for the ultimate prize was his freedom, a horizon that beckoned with endless possibilities. The Dragnet Tightens. The authorities were closing in. Kodama and Tanaka's luck was running out. Their network of supporters dwindled as the police pressure intensified. One by one, their contacts were arrested. The walls were closing in. The thrill of the escape had given way to the grim reality of their situation. They were trapped, with nowhere left to run. A legacy of escape. Kodama and Tanaka's escape sent shockwaves through the Japanese penal system. It exposed glaring security flaws. It challenged the perception of prisons as impenetrable fortresses. In the aftermath of the escape, security measures were overhauled, new protocols were implemented. The Aomori prison, once a symbol of unbreachable security, became a stark reminder of the human capacity for cunning and determination. Echoes of Freedom. The escape of Yoshio Kodama and Toshiro Tanaka remains a captivating tale in Japanese criminal lore. It is a story of audacity, of meticulous planning, and of the human desire for freedom, no matter how hopeless the odds. Their story serves as a reminder that even within the most secure walls, the spirit of defiance can never be truly extinguished.